And perfect.
Yeah, once you team that up, yeah, I appreciate, Rain, Stephanie, Leah, and Norm, invited me to come talk about Community Voice because, it is a program that I'm passionate about, and something we hear from the community is that most people haven't heard of it. So I'm excited to hopefully, you know, make it easy to understand, even though it's a wide breadth of work and a lot of opportunities come from it. So I'll do my best. But, go to the next slide, please. One second. Okay. So yeah, we all know the mission of the CF Foundation is to cure CF and to provide all people with CF the opportunity to lead long, fulfilling lives. And we do this by funding research and drug development, advancing high quality specialized care, and by partnering with the CF community. Community Voice is what brings all that together. Part of achieving our mission is through listening closely to what matters to people affected by CF. Through Community Voice, members are able to bring their perspectives and priorities to the forefront of CF research, care, and community programs. We can't make informed decisions for the community without hearing from the community. Next slide, please. So what is Community Voice? Simply, it's a chance for people in the community to be heard and advocate for what matters most to them as individuals. Partnering with the community we serve helps us hear their experiences, perspectives, and opinions so we can move forward on decisions and initiatives that are grounded in community insights. CF community members are key partners in achieving our mission. Being a Community Voice member also gives you a sneak peek as to what is on the horizon for the foundation. You'll have the opportunity to learn about upcoming projects and research, so you're able to keep your finger on the pulse of what is going on at a national level. Most importantly, simply sharing your experiences or loved ones, you're taking an active role in improving the future for the entire CF community. Your participation makes a big difference no matter how much or how little someone chooses to participate. So how do we do this? Next slide, please. But Community Voice members are involved in all areas of the foundation's work. In 2020, members participated in over 80 projects, and so far this year, they've already participated in over 75. On this slide, there are some specific examples of how members contribute to our cure, care, and community space. Last year in the cure space, members were involved in 6 projects around enhancing the design of research studies, along with several committee recruitment efforts for research-based groups like the Data Safety Monitoring Board and the Clinical Research Grant Committee. And in the care space, there were 8 different projects about CF complications like CFRD and CF liver disease. There were also several projects conducted about COVID-19 and telehealth. And there was even a large prioritization survey about the future of mental health research. And lastly, in the community space, CF community conferences like ResearchCon and BreatheCon go through Community Voice to recruit for their event planning groups and for event speakers. Community Voice members were also involved in numerous virtual events and webinars last year on topics like emotional wellness, gratitude, and sexual and reproductive health. This is just to name a few. Next slide. There are many different types of projects Community Voice members participate in. Large surveys are probably the ones people hear about most often. These typically are multi-stakeholder, multi-department, and oftentimes are prioritization surveys that can help the foundation determine directions and trends on what is most important to the community and what direction we need to go. So an example of this was the 2020 Mental Health Research Prioritization Survey, which is now helping researchers know what matters most to the community so they can design their studies to address those topics. Community voice members also provide input on scope or design early on in a project, making sure it is comprehensive and overall meaningful for the community. Members also review and provide feedback on content and resources, and can also review materials that have been translated to Spanish. And they're recruited for short-term projects like brainstorming meetings or design days, and are also recruited for long-term committees or working groups that help in different areas across research, care, and community effort. This slide shows how many different opportunities or routes that you can take once you become a community voice member. So on this slide, it kind of shows how many different paths you can take once you are signed up for community voice. So you can kind of stay in the background and answer surveys, or you can be more in front and be a part of a committee or a working group. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. Next slide, please. So who is right for community voice? Well, everyone on the call is, but as you all know, each person's experience with CF is unique. So it's critical to hear from as many people as possible. Any individual that's 13 years or older, or who has CF, or is a family member of a person with CF can join. I mean, that includes adults with CF, parents, grandparents, siblings, spouses, and even friends. So no prior experience is necessary, just your lived experience. Friends and people who work in CF professionally can join as well, but the vast majority of the projects we send out are for people living day-to-day with CF and their families. So we do send monthly results updates to everyone in the group, so you're able to see the impact that everyone within Community Voice is making on a monthly basis. Next slide, please. So how it works. What's best about Community Voice is that joining is easy and you can choose your own adventure, as I said earlier. You simply join online and indicate what your interests are and skills during the sign-up process. Then we use this information to send you customized opportunities that arrive via email. And after joining, you can share your opinions in numerous ways, including filling out 5-minute surveys, joining focus groups, and applying to be on committees. You will also receive our monthly results update, which highlights recent opportunities that Community Voice members participated in, the feedback, ideas, and insights we gathered, and the next steps or impact of each project. Kind of as I said earlier and a couple of slides ago, one of the best parts of this program is that you can stay behind the scenes and remain anonymous by simply answering the surveys or participating in interviews, or you can take a more active role and join a committee, working group, or even become a speaker at an event. So it really is up to the individual as to what they are wanting to do or have time to do. Whichever route you decide, you're still making an impact on the future of the CF community. Okay, so I'm gonna pause for a second and see if anyone has any questions about, what I've talked about so far before we go into kind of the sign up process and kind of some examples of a project. So if anyone has any questions, you can pop off mute or put it in the chat, or if there aren't any questions, we can just keep moving along. All right, we'll keep chugging along. We can go to the next slide. All right, so this is what it looks like when you go to sign up, and we wanted to kind of show you what it looked like. So when people go to sign up to participate in the program, they can either choose to create an account or sign up without creating an account. And just a quick note, our sign up system is tied to my.cff.org, which is an account-based platform for the organization, but is completely separate from any of the event platforms we use, like the Great Strides website or the Cycle website. So you would either need to create a new account when signing up, or you can simply bypass that option and continue without signing in, which will still create a community voice profile, but you just won't be able to update your profile without contacting the community voice team. I call it out because we've heard a lot from the community on the confusion of that. So we just thought we'd point it out. And then on the right hand side of this slide, it kind of goes into the questions that you would be asked. So you'll be asked to provide some basic demographic information like location, date of birth, connection to CF. And then you have the option to share what kind of projects you're most interested in learning about and participating in. Some options here include CF community topics like access or advocacy, drug development, transplantation, and CF care topics. The sign-up form is a blend of required and optional questions, but the more you fill out, the more we are able to tailor opportunities based on what interests you the most. Next slide, please. So once you complete the sign-up form, you'll receive a confirmation page to review for your information, and you must scroll to the bottom of this page and hit submit to confirm registration and officially become a member. We're calling this out specifically because we've also heard from a few people that have gotten to this page and they thought they were done with the process. So once you push submit down at the bottom, on the bottom right hand of the page on the left on this slide, a profile is then created and you would then receive a welcome note, which is the picture on the right, from everybody on the community voice team. And then the journey begins. We can go to the next slide. So on this slide, we wanted to share with you all that what a typical project looks like for members. All projects include the anticipated time commitment. So before you even click or do anything, you'll know how much time is expected of you per project. And also tell you the project owner and the deadline for participation at the top of the email. And then in the body of the email, we include a concise description on the project, as well as a mention of how the project will have an impact. And then of course, a link to participate on the bottom. This allows for you to gauge whether each project works for you at any given time and lays out all the expectations before clicking into anything. Next slide, please. After a community voice member participates in a project, we ensure that we close the feedback loop so that they know how their participation has made a difference. Members receive a results update email on a monthly basis that includes project updates, results, call outs to members selected for committees, and specifics about how their participation made an actual impact. These monthly results updates are a great way to stay informed on the various projects that come through Community Voice. And then we have a link we can put in the chat, and it'll have like all the past monthly results updates. So you can go through and check out each monthly results updates to kind of get a feel for the different projects that come through Community Voice and what the results look like. Next slide, please. So here's a current snapshot of what Community Voice membership looks like. Right now, we are right at 1,600 members even, which is kind of crazy. It's about an even split between people with CF and parents, but there are various other connections that are also members. We also have representation from every state, which is awesome. But in order to truly be representative of the CF community, we know we need to grow our membership significantly, and we need to do a much better job at hearing from more men, more people of color, and more people with rare mutations. It's important that CF clinicians, researchers, and the foundation hear from a wide variety of experiences in order to find a cure for everyone. For the Tennessee chapter, there are about 20 Community Voice members as of now. So we definitely need your help to spread the word to more local community members. Next slide, please. All right, so I appreciate everybody joining the call today, because going forward, we know we need to grow our membership significantly, so we can hear from as many community voice members as possible, Sorry. But we need help spreading the word about community voice, because the main thing we continue to hear is that people have no idea about this program. So what I want to ask for you today is to pull out your phones and either scan the QR code on the screen, or you can text CF Voice to 96387, and the sign up form will be sent directly to your phone. Once you receive it, I hope you will sign up, but if not, please share it with your loved ones or local community members that you feel would be a good fit for Community Voice. And while you're pulling out your phones and signing up or thinking of people to send the link to, we're going to play a powerful video that features Linda Bowman in Adult Living with CF, who shares the impact of Community Voice and what it has meant to her, along with some words for everyone else. Cue the video, please. Can y'all hear? Can y'all hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
Can you not hear it?
No.
Huh. That is strange. It's coming through on my audio. Let's see. Here we go. How about now?
Has been compared to many things.
All right, I will start it over. Sorry, my camera. I can't see it. Okay.
There you go.
I'm Linda, an adult living with cystic fibrosis, and I'm a member of Community Voice, and I have been for 6 years. Living life with this disease has been compared to many things, one of them being a roller coaster. The ups and downs of navigating severe illness that is progressive and ultimately fatal can be challenging, to say the least. And there are times where you feel powerless. And that's one of the reasons why I joined Community Voice, because I have the ability to affect change. For example, I was on a committee that reviews research grants, and giving my feedback directly to researchers on the community's needs was empowering. Or taking 5 minutes to fill out a survey on guidelines on quality improvement or access to care or food insecurity, and the list goes on. Being part of a focus group that lets the foundation know what is important to those with CF and to the people that love and care for them. Community Voice isn't about me or you, it's about us, the community. And honestly, yeah, people have asked me, do you really think you can make a difference? My answer is always the same, absolutely. But that's because I know it's not about a single voice. It's about all our voices being heard. And I know for a fact that when voices collectively want to affect change, it can happen. You don't have to make a video or stand up in front of 100 people and speak. I get it. Sometimes people get concerned if they sign up for something that there might be a big ask of them. That's not how this works. You get to decide. You're in charge of what kind of impact and involvement you want to have. You answer a questionnaire, you check off the topics you're interested in, and then when you receive an email with an opportunity to do something, you decide whether you want to or not. There is never any pressure to do anything. And I can tell you this, I get ideas all the time popping up in my head, especially when I'm sick. And something comes up maybe when I'm in the hospital and I think, ugh, I wish I could share that with the foundation. Well, now I know there's a place that I can do that. We didn't have a program like this before, and now we do. We've got to take advantage of this opportunity. Anyone with CF 13 and older, or any family member, can join. Living with CF is more than hoping for a cure. It's also about our quality of life, right here, right now. We all have so much experience to bring to the table, and each and every person's story is valuable. Whether you're a young patient or an older patient, or a caregiver, a spouse, a sibling, a mom or dad, your voice is important. It's a gift, and I hope you will use it. Thank you.
Isn't Linda great? That video gets me fired up every time. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So yeah, on this slide, there are a few quotes from some other current community voice members, and they kind of touch on what the program means to them. And I think it shows how empowering the program can be for people with CF and their loved ones. I won't read them all, but I'll give you a second to read through some of them. But while you're reading, I wanted to thank Rain, Norm, Stephanie, Leah for allowing me to share about Community Voice with all you today. And I hope you have a better understanding of what the program entails. But if there are things that are still seem unclear, if you have any issues signing up, we're going to open it up for some questions. So ask away. You can go to the next slide. All right, does anyone have any questions about the program or comments? Did anything surprise you or stand out or anything?
I think it's an amazing program. I think that I was very impressed by the flexibility of the program. I think that's something that is very appealing, and I'm sure it's very important to folks because they want to feel like, as the young lady in the video pointed out, that basically you can decide how much or how little you want to be engaged. But I suspect that no matter how much you're engaged, you're still going to feel a great deal of satisfaction by doing so. So I think it's very impressive.
Yeah, I agree, and I think people that deal with CF or live with CF, as y'all know, you never know what's going to happen. It's pretty unpredictable. So I think that's a big attraction for people because sometimes you don't have time or you feel pressured. So this is not the program that will do that. So.
I have a question. Do you know how many members are in Arizona?
Not off the top of my head, but I can look it up and I can reach back out to you. Or,
Okay.
yeah, and I could send it to Rain if she has your contact information.
I do. Share that with you.
Thank you.
I have a two-part question. One is this international? It sounds like it's national just for the U.S. right now. And two, how does it break down where the local chapter gets that information, can address local issues or regional issues that arise? And the second part is, I haven't gone and actually looked at how to sign up, but is it all centered on social media, or if you just do email and regular snail mail, you can still participate, or is it driven through social media, Facebook, and those kinds of things?
Yeah, so the first part of your question, it's mostly national, but we do have some international members as of late. It's not a lot, it's probably less than 20 people, but it's more on a national level. So it's more widespread across the nation, not really broken down per region or state. And then the second part of your question, is it driven through social media? No, it's not. It's all through an email address. So you go to sign up, and whatever email address you put in, everything will come through that specific email. And it's all through email. Anything else? All right. Well, yeah, I appreciate it, y'all. And yeah, thank you for listening to me talk about community voice today. And I hope, hope it's a program that y'all are interested in. Can I ask, had anyone heard of it before this call, or is this all brand new?
I've seen a few things on it. So mainly through social media and there. So what is the plans for the foundation to reach out? I mean, do you send it out to your registered patient base, or how do families that have a child with CF find out about this?
We try to inform care centers so they can inform families when they're at clinic, but we know how busy clinic visits can be, so I know that's not always done. But I think the main way is mainly through email or just working with the chapters as well to connect families that they think would be a good fit for it as well. This past year, we've tried to create new materials and new messaging so that more people do hear about it, because the main thing we hear is that, people have either heard the word community voice but don't know what it means, or haven't heard about it at all. So we're trying to make it more known and widespread. So hopefully this is a start.
Thank you.
Chad, let us know if there's any way that we can help spread the word as well through our contacts here in the state and elsewhere. So we're happy to try to let folks know about it. So I think it's very exciting.
I'm going to go ahead and send it out to all our Grampians here in Houston. I think that is something they would be interested in because of the non-fundraising type thing. and the fact that they can control their own time with it and invest as much time as they want to. I like that a lot. So I will be sending that out in our next email. That's what we're going to concentrate on in the email. So thank you, Chad.
Yeah, and I know there's some other Grampian chairs on here. So if there's ever, if y'all ever do a meeting and want someone from the community voice team to present or do anything, feel free to reach out. You can email the community voice team at communityvoice@cff.org. So just something to think about.
Excellent. And you can't beat the price, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah, and kind of like Diane said, it is a good way to bolster your connection to the foundation that isn't tied to fundraising, because I know people get burnt out or things happen to where they fall off of that. So
To be honest with you, just a little feedback. I went to the website the other night and it said sign up, and I kind of stopped, like, okay, sign up. It's like I'm joining, I'm committing. So if there's a better term, maybe they would allow more people to not feel as, okay, great, I'm signing up for one more thing or whatever. So it made me hesitate, but I don't know if you've heard that from other folks or whatever. But
yes, we've heard that quite a bit. We're actually working on changing the language on the sign up form and kind of changing how the buttons are formed on there. So that's actually something we hear often. So we're working on trying to change the language and make it an easier, less of a barrier to entry.
Very good.
All right. Yeah, if there's nothing else, I'll hand it back to Norm, and I appreciate everybody asking questions and, engaging in the conversation. So thank you.
Chad, we very much appreciate your time and efforts here, and look forward to continuing to have these discussions with you about the community voice. I think it's a very fine initiative, and I think that it's something that a lot of folks are interested in. We'll try to do as much as we can to get the word out about it, and also tell them that if they hit the join now, they're not going to end up in basic training. They're running laps or anything. So.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I appreciate y'all, and it was nice to get to hear a little bit about each of y'all. So
very good.
thank you.
So, and thanks everybody for, as always, I'm always very pleased that you show up for these things, and I thoroughly enjoy the conversations. So I think it's excellent. So does anybody have anything else to bring up, or just in passing conversation or anything?
I have one quick announcement.
Please.
Yes. So next week, the foundation is having its first ever national Grampions event. It's virtual, and there's going to be a Q&A with the president and CEO of the foundation, Dr. Mike Boyle. So I just wanted to mention that. I'm going to put that in the chat for anyone who, if you haven't signed up or if you want to attend that, that's next Thursday. And I'll also follow up this email with some information from Chad, and then I'll include that in there as well for anyone who's interested in attending. I just wanted to mention that. I think it's going to be a great event.
Excellent. Thank you, Rain.
Mm-hmm.
That does sound great. So does anybody else have any comments or questions or anything before we close?
Well, just thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. We're very happy to continue having you, and hopefully we'll see more of you. So very good. So, well, excellent. Well, we'll get out the the plans for the coming 2022, and we'll let you all know where we're going to go from here. So when we know ourselves, but you'll be very we'll keep you informed. So in the meantime, though, if I could be of any assistance, anybody, just please let me know. And it's just I wishing you all a happy and safe holiday season, and please give my best to your CF fighter and the rest of your family. So thank you very much. So, well, thanks everybody. Have a great evening.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Norm. Appreciate you both. Thank you, everyone.